And we'll just leave it right there, everybody. Why resolve? Okay, I did it after all. Hey, everybody, we've got a very, very, very special show. Let me know if you can hear everything out there. We're on Austin Music Television right now. Lee, the video should be happening. You should be at least seeing me right now. Let me know if everybody can see me. Somebody put a little chat in there. I got a very special guest for you today. My good friend, Mr. Michael O'Connor, is with us. And I think we should just jump right into it and go ahead and invite Michael. We've got a bunch of really good questions for 20 Question Tuesdays already. And that's it. I just hope you guys have a great day. Hi, Autumn. How you doing? Here, let's go ahead and introduce Michael, everybody. Welcome, Michael, to the show.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, look, there's Jimmy Jams Jr., Jamie Harris. Otto's here. Yay! We got Larry, we got Randy, we got all sorts of people from all over the country and potentially from the world. Mr. Michael O'Connor, what's going on, man?
This is it. I'm hanging out with you guys today.
This is very, very strange, you and I talking in this format.
Yeah, instead of a car or a hotel room.
Yeah, not in a hotel room or a car or on tour. As interviewer and interviewee, I feel like Michael and I, if you guys don't know, we've spent so much time on the road together over the years. Michael was on my very first gig with Ray Wiley Hubbard in Texas. That was, I'd say, a little over 20 years ago. So let's do other things embarrassing to show our age, as if people didn't know, already. But, hey, before we get started, I would like to do this. Okay, so everybody sees this stuff right here, and Michael and I are doing that today, so you see that there. And people are going to put things up on Facebook and the other platforms for you, but I also want you guys to see this right now. And maybe Michael could just start us off with a little tune. Are you writing anything new? Are you working on anything new? Maybe just play a tune for us or something, and we'll all just
I haven't
been
writing anything. I've been in complete survival mode, man.
Well, you moved.
We live in Washington State now. Yeah, me and Denise. So if you hear some chainsaws or a grizzly bear in a little while, that's all that's going on. Don't worry. Everything's cool.
Lee Doctari said that I had the fastest name drop ever.
Well, we know that.
Yeah, I did that pretty quick. Oh, I don't seem to be live on Periscope. Chat only. Well, that's weird. Well, I'll see what I can do about that, Joanna. It shows that I'm on, but okay. Well, anyway, it's that touch of unprofessionalism that makes me so lovable. I think what's more important right now is if you have to, switch over to the YouTubes or go to Austin Music TV to check it out. It's on live right there, right now. And right now we're going to have Michael play a tune, everybody.
All right, here's one I wrote with my friend Adam Carroll and Chris Carroll. I'm a little rusty, guys. I have been moving from Denver, Colorado to Washington State. I camped out here in Washington for about 3 weeks while my house was being set up. And so we're in our house now on a couch for the first time since yesterday. We got a couch. Anyway, here's one called Crescent City Angels. I'd feel like the king in New Orleans if I could keep the rain off my head. I used to be the man down here, now I'm looking for a bed. The good times come to an end and wash on down the street, taking everything that we threw away, all we tried to keep. The ghost out on Market Street might have led this railroad down. If I hadn't missed the bus, I'd already be in town. Singing one for Madeline or Matilda, you never can tell. I made my way across a Pontchartrain to fetch my mademoiselle. Sunsets in Rosedale like none I'd ever seen. Push my luck in Mobile, a hole in the pocket of my jeans. It's been a long time since I held my head up high. Town to town, I'm a stranger, hardly getting by. Lost my horn down the road a ways to them so-called friends of mine. If I can shake it off and make good time, I'll be dancing with Caroline. A spark in the night I keep alive, ain't ever gonna let it die. Je t'aime fille, lumière ma vie, they take me back every time. Ever since I ate your fried chicken, baby, in the parking lot of that old motel, Crescent City Angels, they got me under their spell. I did my fair share running round, you know I did. Lord, but it never rang my bell. Crescent City Angels got me under their spell.
The great Michael O'Connor, everybody.
We're knocking the cobwebs off of it.
I know. Yeah, I love that song, too. Jamie Harris says, I love this song so much. Joanna says, love this, Michael. Mark,
love
glad
y'all.
You're in. Howdy, howdy to you. I don't know. Sometimes it says stuff is somewhere, and sometimes it's not. But I'm so glad you all are here. If you see this right here, these little guys right here, Michael's website and Bandcamp right there.
Right there.
There's Kate Howard. Kate Howard, thank you for letting me know that I incorrectly used the wrong graphic for the beginning of this show. I did it as for here to there instead of 20 Question Tuesdays. But once again, it's that touch of unprofessionalism. I'm just going to keep on saying it. Michael, it's so good to hear you play a tune, man. It's
so good to play a tune.
Isn't it? You know, and I mean, the other thing is this. I don't know about you, but every once in a while we do these shows for Zoom, and it's really, really cool. They're like song swaps and stuff. And the craziest thing is, like, the host will mute everybody else when you play. And then the second you get done playing, he unmutes everybody, and you hear applause.
Nice.
And you're like, whoa, like, I forgot, you know? And for me, with my wife, like, when, you know, if we're out and about and I'm, like, telling jokes too much, and she's like, baby, you haven't been hearing enough applause lately, have you? You know? And kind of just, like, knocks me down a peg, or, you know, in a good way. Keeps me from getting a big head and all that stuff. And she's like, wow, you really need to play a show. So...
Yeah, I make Denise clap when I mow the yard and stuff.
Do you? Okay, well, that makes sense.
How about a round of applause? I just put the groceries away.
I did it. Steve Long, how you doing, man?
Hey, Steve.
So apparently on this particularly cool thing that is letting us broadcast to Austin Music TV, thanks so much for doing this with us. And I'll put that up, too. It's really, 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 really cool. I'm able to, you know, get chat from everybody and talk to everybody all over the world from all these different platforms right now. It makes me really happy. But that's where we got these questions, and that's what we're doing here. I started this just as kind of a thing where, like, I knew everybody was cooped up. You know, Michael? And I was like, well, you know, there's a lot of people who don't have the bread to take online lessons right now, and I know you were given some lessons and things like that. And so I wanted people to have a place. And what's been really cool is, like, having all these people from all over the place ask totally different questions. Some very technical, some very beginner. And we've got some good questions right here. And I think we're going to start off. And, Michael, you remember Doctari, of course, right?
Of course.
Lee Doctari? Okay, so
Love him.
Lee got the first question in today. And his question is, how does an individual guitar affect what you play, and what do you look for in a guitar? I like this question.
I do too.
I'm going to let you go first.
Well, I like Gibson electric guitars. Other people like Stratocasters. That's just like Coke and Pepsi kind of thing. But a different guitar does affect. First of all, I have a Gibson that I've been playing since I was 16 years old, and that is my main guitar. And that guitar, I can't do anything wrong on that guitar, so I love having that guitar. But I knew I wanted it the second I played it. So sometimes I just speak to you that way. I would also say that guitars do make you play different. And I know when I played on your first record, Jeff, with Gurf, I brought my guitar, this guitar that I was just talking about that I love so much. And Jeff gave me a Italian acoustic guitar shaped like a violin with really big action on it and said, here, play this one. And it made me play something completely different, you know, it made me approach it in a different way. And the next time I recorded.
Solo.
Yeah.
I remember that solo well.
Yeah. And next time I recorded with Gurf with Slade, there was a nylon string guitar there, and Gurf said, here, play this one. So they do make you do different things. Like, say you're driving your friend's sports car, you might drive a little different than your pickup truck, you know?
Oh, yeah,
or
you
vice
might.
versa. So it does affect you. I also want to say that a great electric guitar, the second you pick it up and play it, even if it's not plugged into an amplifier, I know you agree with me on this, Jeff, you can tell if that guitar has good tone or it's going to sound great or not before you ever plug it into an amp. So they're all different, and I got $100 guitars that I love, and I have $5,000 guitars that I love, you know?
I feel the exact same way. You know what was really cool is, like, that Italian guitar that we used for that song, which was Not Be Lonely on my Plank album, that guitar had been used as the rhythm guitar for Slade Cleaves on Broke Down.
Nice.
And I also used it for the rhythm guitar on Mary Magdalene. And what was really cool was, like, there were all these records that I already knew and had in my head where I was like,
that's cool.
Oh, that's the guitar. That's the guitar that people were picking up for a Mary Gaucher album, not just saying that because Jamie's here, or for Slade Cleaves, or for you, and it was so cool. And but it was really, really cool, like, just to hear. And I'll tell you another one that's really cool that way, Lee, is Scrappy Judd has an old guitar that belonged to Champ Hood. And it's got this weird butterfly on it, and it's sort of like the precursor to a Collings guitar. And I'm telling you, man, I was working with Scrappy on a tune, and I said, man, I'd love for this to sound like a Uncle Walt's Band song. And he did this, and he just played this lick, and I went, whoa. Because I've heard Scrappy play a million times, but when he played it on this guitar, all of a sudden, like, this Champ sound came out of it. It was the coolest thing, you know? And a different guitar can sometimes, like, invoke you playing something that maybe you didn't even know that you knew or you picked up from somebody else. It's just a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Or like when I played your jazz box on Rancho 12. You were going to play rhythm, same guitar. I was going to use my favorite guitar, and you said, "Here, I'll play your acoustic, and you play this." That track wouldn't have been the same on any other guitar, you know. So
yeah, because it had like flat wound string. Yeah, it had like big flat wound strings, this big jazz box. Howdy to Michael Hearn. Nice to see you. Hey, Michael Hearn. Man. Michael, hey, brother. Says hi too. Kate Howard, what guitar did I play on your album? I did a couple. I had a Weisenborn, and I think I had my Martin for that. And I also had a Collings mandolin. I don't know if I played that on your live album. Anyway, cool stuff. Great question, Lee.
Yeah,
Way to
man.
get us started off right. I love that question.
We
I'll
love
try-
guitars.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy. We've got a bunch of guitar questions as well. Now, our good friend Jana Pokop is here.
Hey,
And
Jana.
First of all, I don't mind saying, is that Scrappy's burnt guitar? I think that is Scrappy's burnt guitar, Lee. By the way, I jump around a lot when I see these things. You'll get used to it. You are used to it. What am I even talking about? I go analog when I write down the questions, too. Jana has a good question. She says basically, I want to get to a point where I can play a little bit faster, this I being Jana. She's like, and I know playing fast is like not the goal, but she wants to get fast. And she wants some tips on playing fast. I can go first on this one, and then I'll have you go, Michael. My tip, and maybe you'll agree with me, my tip for playing fast, there's two big tips, Jana, I would say, as far as getting a little speed. Number one, most people think you have to squeeze really, really hard on a guitar, and you just lay your fingers down. There's a thing called buzz scales that's in classical guitar where you just like lay your finger on a string and you slowly go towards the neck until a sound comes out. And they do entire scales this way. And the reason is it shows you that you don't have to push hard, you just have to lay your fingers down. And I love that, because when you see somebody flying around the neck, they're not pushing every last thing in. They don't have to. There's no way they could play fast. So the first thing is teach yourself. You can even play scales without your thumb on the back of the neck at all, because you just don't need that much force to squeeze in. And then the other thing I would say is to learn to play fast, play slowly. Play as slow as you possibly can, and play either with a metronome or with what's even better is like a garage band loop, because it's actually got feel to it, and you can just like slowly speed it up as you go, which is really, really, really super cool. So my two tips for learning how to play with a little bit more speed are, number one, light touch with your left hand, all your volume is with your right, and also to, play with something like a metronome and start really, 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 really slow. It's counterintuitive, but if you can play it slow, getting it faster is easier. Starting fast and just messing up all over the place just takes forever. Michael, do you have anything else on that tip?
On the nose, Jeff. That's the first thing I thought when she asked about playing fast. Is like, play slow. It sounds like you said. It sounds totally the wrong thing to do, but play it very slowly. Get it down where you can play it perfectly slowly, and then just slowly increase your speed. And I never really thought about it, but Jeff's right. When we're my fingers are barely even touching the strings. I'm halfway pulling off the string most of the time, and hammer-ons, pull-offs, of course, will give you that illusion of playing fast too, because that's what fast. But yeah, I never even really thought about that, Jeff. When I'm playing lead, I'm not pushing down all that hard. Not like trying to play a bar chord or something. Just your fingers are just right to that point where you're getting tone out of it. If you play too hard, you'll actually choke the guitar out and you'll get less sound out of it. Electric guitar too. If you're
like
really playing on it. Yeah. Now people make a lot of guitar face, so it looks like they're playing really hard, but it's not that hard, Yeah.
Shall we both give our best guitar face right now? I think mine's kind of like.
Yeah, I like to do that.
Oh, that's yours? Oh, that's much cooler. Of course.
Yeah, playing slow, and you're not having to push that hard, and just slowly go faster. And then once you get to play really, really fast, only do it for about 3 seconds or 4 seconds in a song. Don't play really fast the whole time. If you build up a solo slow and you're giving some tension, and then you play a little fast riff, then it's going to stand out more. We've all seen that guy that just blazes through it, and it's like someone typing. It just goes by, So
I like that analogy.
Don't play fast all the time. Yeah.
Don't play like a typewriter.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I love that. I like the story too. I don't know if this is true or not, but there's a story about Lloyd Maines, the great steel guitar player, producer, everything, and Jimmy Day, the great steel guitar player, played with everybody. A little bit more old school than Lloyd, and they're at a steel guitar convention, and Lloyd sees this kid who's just smoking on the steel guitar. And Lloyd looks at Jimmy, goes, "Man, I wish I could play like that." And Jimmy says, "Yes, and then choose not to."
Exactly. Exactly. Hey, but there are moments to play fast and get chicks
Sure.
in the flash, man. And
You got your
so
time.
Go for it, Jana. Play fast.
Yeah.
Do it. But yeah, it's just like putting pepper or something on your stuff. You don't want it all fast, you know.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But it is fun to play fast, loud rock and roll guitar. I'll give you that, man.
Yeah, it is. And there's certain stuff that I tend to love that you wouldn't expect. Like, I'm kind of a closet Buckethead fan.
I love Buckethead.
Those of you who don't know, check out Buckethead. I'll put it in the comments.
Yeah, Buckethead. Go look at that.
I mean, that is like fast, very technical guitar, but it's so musical.
Oh, that's the word.
So incredibly musical, you know? And I really, really dig it, even though it may be fast. Well, let's take a second here, and I wanted to mention again my good friend Michael. His stuff right here. This is where you can find out more about Michael O'Connor at his website and his Bandcamp, where you can find songs. And all of you who are saying that you love the sound, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that the sound is working really well for both of us. And, you know, tip accordingly. Oh, wait, there we go. Okay. Oh, we have a wife sighting. We've got Denise on. She says it's fun to see you two together again. That's not awkward. Have you heard the bad jokes? Someone was joking the other day because I said, you know, since I don't have a job right now, you don't have a job right now. I said that somebody said, "Oh, well, that's okay." I said I have a gainfully employed wife, and they said, "Oh, well, you have wife insurance." And I thought that was funny, but then I heard another one that I thought was really good when I was teaching a Zoom lesson the other day that said, he said, "I'm on wife support." Which I also...
I hate those jokes.
Does Denise hate those jokes?
No, I'm just kidding. Denise isn't working right now either. We're both just here at a little hideout in Washington State and doing good. And when the world comes down, we will both go back to work again. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know about you, man, but I sure do want my people in Texas to stay safe right now.
Oh, please, guys. We love y'all.
Wear your mask. Please stay in as much as you can. Bring it down. Just be good to each other. You know, that's just all I want to say about that.
Amen.
You know. Well, Michael, would you like to play another song?
Sure, man. I'll play another song.
Would you guys like to hear? Most of the time, I just take questions. But I gotta be honest. I just miss playing with you, and hearing you play would just mean a lot to me.
Thanks, buddy. I'd love to. Yeah, if you do go to Bandcamp and listen to those records on there, I have Jack Saunders and Rick Richards. I just want to say thanks to those guys. Rick's playing all the drums, and Jack is the producer. My neighbor was actually streaming me the other day here. I could hear it coming out of his window, but I didn't realize it was my record at first, and all I heard was a snare drum, the intro of a song, and I thought, man, that is the perfect sounding snare drum. Listen to that. And it was Jack and Rick's work. So I was like, thanks, guys.
Oh, man, beautiful. Well, I mean, that's the truth, too. We always love Rick Richards because he could just play one note as a fill, and we know it's perfect.
You know it's Rick, yeah.
Aaron Reed, hi, Sean. Also, Aaron's there. Aaron says, Michael, your beard is looking fire.
Oh, thanks. That means a lot coming from you. I haven't been to a barbershop in 4 months, so that's what happened.
Larry King says, this Texan is following the protocols. Everybody do like Larry. All right, everybody, we're going to hear another song from Michael O'Connor, and then we're going to answer some more questions. Take a listen.
Uncle John rode in the rodeo. He was pretty good, they say. Uncle John had polio. He limped around till his dying day. Uncle John was a cowpoke, but gave it in to sell Chevrolets. Uncle John was a hero. Every ragged child in town knew his name. Laura, come to the rodeo. I ride this afternoon. Laura, come to the rodeo. I'll be on that white stud they call blue. Ooh, la na na na. Uncle John never gave much thought to the Lord. Couldn't take steak and a dead man, but he was always giving what he had to the poor, and as for himself, well, by 1960, Uncle John had given away more than he could afford. Nobody noticed when he was tap dry. Dry like the dust in some old West Texas store. You try to spit, you get dirt in your eye. Laura, come to the rodeo. I ride this afternoon. Laura, come to the rodeo. I'll be on that white stud they call blue. Ooh, la na na na. Now the room smells like death. The lights grow dim. A scream's heard down the hall. Uncle John rots in his old wheelchair as the bugs crawl across the wall. And the days go by without a kind word won, waiting on a long distance call. With the faces and places of long ago rolling round inside of his skull. Laura, come to the rodeo. We ride this afternoon. Laura, come to the rodeo. I'll be on that white stud they call blue. Laura, come to the rodeo. I ride this afternoon. Laura, come to the rodeo. I'll be on that white stud they call blue. Ooh, la 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 la.
Everybody
A little
out
happy
there.
song for y'all this morning.
We have to do the emojis for applause.
I wrote that song with my friend Carrie Sweeney, y'all. And Carrie doesn't write with anybody, so I'm always thrilled when he wants to write a song with me.
I think you and I both have a strange relationship to certain artists that aren't into co-writing.
Yeah.
I have the one co-write in the world with Chris Buhalis. And actually, Jamie Harris, who's here, everybody, who we should have on this show sometime when she has time, sang backups on that with Betty Sue on that song.
Oh, it's beautiful too, man.
Many name drops in this particular one. Hey, a bunch of people are asking about something that I'm going to put up that you and I are doing to... There it is, right down there. And for myself and Michael. Okay, cool. Now you guys know. We got some other cool questions. What do you think, Michael? Are you ready?
Yeah, man.
Okay. Disable audio processing. Yeah. All right, let's see. Kelly. Kelly, I know you're here. You always ask really great questions. This lady knows how to ask a good musical question. Kelly, I hope you're here. Okay, she's talking about transposing a song that sound better for voice into like a lower key. And she's really talking about how, you know, and I'm sure you'll have some good ideas for this as well. And then are there specific tunings that are good for like jazzy chords? Because I think her biggest problem, and you're right, Kelly, it was a little bit complicated, but I think I gathered what the meat of what you're asking, which is, you know, basically the question is like if you drop it down into a certain key and it doesn't sound good, like it sounds good for your voice, but it doesn't sound good on the guitar.
It happens a lot.
That's a thing. I mean, the answer to the question is kind of yes. You know, Randy Dees says, get a baritone guitar. That's a really, really great point. But then you also, as much as I love acoustic baritone guitars, you also have to deal with the fact that the baritone in a recording kind of takes up the same space that a bass guitar does. And using a baritone, you have to be really... That's why a lot of times they're not like strummy. They're really like you're playing leads on them and stuff like that. Yep, absolutely, Randy, for Kelly's. But that is one option, for sure. Yes, and I love my baritone acoustic. Love it.
It can crowd the bass player, though. If you're playing with the bass player, you really have to watch that. Yeah,
it can, right? But but Michael, specifically, okay. So if you want to, you know, I have a few ideas. Like if you want to move something down, what I really don't know how to answer to this question is: are there specific tunings that you like for jazzy chords? And she was mentioning like major sevens and things like that, and it's like I never think of jazz chords as anything but standard tuning.
Me too. I've never, but that's not saying Joni Mitchell doesn't do great things. So
that's exactly what popped in my head.
Yeah,
was Joni
but
Mitchell.
I've always played jazzy chords just in standard tuning. I've never.
Yeah.
My open tunings are Folky and Keith Richards. That's my two open tuning influences.
Folky and Keith Richards.
Those are the two things I go for. But sometimes if you're changing for your voice and it changes the coolness of the guitar part, then just kind of do your own version with it. You know, if that A chord isn't going to be there all open and sounding great on your version of it, then get it where you sing it good and then create something that lends itself to you. You know, there's definitely lots of rock and roll songs that I would like to sing, but they have to be in an open A because it's got that, you know, or an open A chord, I mean.
Yeah,
so,
because it doesn't sound too...
That's a thing. It's a thing to change the key and lose the guitar cool. It happens. You know, it does.
I mean, one of the biggest examples I can think of that everybody knows is Superstition. Because it's like every guitar player wants Superstition to be an E.
Yeah.
By Stevie Wonder so badly. Yeah. And it's in E flat.
Yeah, that's right.
And it sounds totally different in a sharp key to me. Now, it doesn't to the average ear, but I feel it, you know. But Kelly, you know, Kelly just commented about what we're talking about, and she says, good to know, so maybe I just need to change up the melody. I think you could change up the melody. I think you could look at playing it out of another position. For instance, okay, if your jazzy chords, whatever they are, you know, we play E with an E chord there, but we also play E with an E chord there, shaped like a D chord, and it's a totally different sound.
And you keep going up, yeah.
And then you keep going up, and then if you're right here, and it's like, there's my E chord out of C position, and that's why we learn caged, C-A-G-E-D, so we can move all these into different things. And sometimes it's just, people are like, well, why? A perfect example that I can think of is, I had a student, my good buddy John Austin, who's an incredible student. He's just really takes advice really well and takes it to heart and learns it. And he's a professor and didn't really learn how to play until he was in his, I want to say late 40s, early 50s. And he sent me this song by Ry Cooder. And what was really, really cool about it was in G tuning, but it was capoed on the 5th fret, and he was playing out of D position. Now, for some of you, this may sound just a smidge technical. But the basic gist was, when he capoed up, he was using what normally looks like a D chord shape. So he was back in G. Okay, so he's in G tuning, which is like you strum open and it's a big G chord. And then he capoed up and he used the D position. And he's like, why would he do that? Like, why would he choose to? And I said what I always say, it sounded right.
Yeah, the voicings lay out cool, you know?
It was really, really subtle. It was really like, it wasn't like, it was like, and I think that being able to, play those same chords out of a different position is also a really cool thing, rather than just like scoot it down. If you scoot it down and it doesn't feel right there, slap a capo on and try and play the same chord in a different position.
Scoot it up, yeah. Also, playing out of D in the key of open G is a great thing to do. If you're already playing an open G and you haven't tried to play a song in D yet, do that, because it's cool.
Yeah, I do the same thing. There was a long time where whoever was playing with me, especially because when I play lap, I stick to mostly open D and open G. And Gabriel Rhodes was like, is that song in the D set or the G set? And I was like, meaning that at the beginning of the show we do a bunch of songs in one key, and at the end of the show we do it in the middle, and in the middle I'd play guitar. And he was like, is that in the D set or the G set? And I was like, oh. So I made it a conscious effort to try and play songs in a weird tuning or in a weird shape that worked. So I've got tunes now in B minor that's in G tuning and E, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, out of the open tuning. And for all you people that hire people as sidemen, that is how we look at your songs, by the way. The ones in G, the ones in D.
Is it the G one? Or is it the one where we capo?
Oh, all of them are that one. Never mind.
I think that part of this 20 Question Tuesday is going to be inside jokes with Michael and Plank.
Hey, we're not mentioning that. When we don't name drop.
then it's something weird.
Hey, can y'all hear that chainsaw out there? My apologies if you can.
No, I can't.
Okay.
I can't at all.
I'm in timber country, y'all.
There is something weird we're going to have to check on Restream, like, before we do this again, where it's like, I don't know if it's, what do you call it? The background noise thing. Just like, I don't know. I hope the sound is working okay. We tested this out and it seemed to work okay, but especially when Michael's playing guitar, I hope it sounds all right. It sounds good to me in my little earbud.
Okay.
I pay extra for the inside jokes. That should be true, and as far as I can tell, we could use some help. Okay, thanks, Kelly. Thanks so much. Okay, let's get another question in that isn't so technical. I hope that did answer your question a little bit. This is kind of like a fun little question that I like. How many guitars do you own, and what have you owned the longest? Go ahead, Michael. You first. How many guitars do you own?
That's funny, man, because when we moved, I put all my stuff with the moving truck, and they took everything except my guitars. And so I packed 21 instruments into my car and drove up here. So
21.
Yeah, that's a problem. I have a problem. And, man, I give them away every once in a while. If I have a really great friend that's playing, I love to give guitars away. And then other guitars, then people give me guitars and they come to me, or I find a really good deal on them. So yeah, I'm right around 21 right now.
What is the guitar that is your Gibby?
Yeah,
The
that Gibson 355 is the one I've had and if I got rid of 20 guitars, I would still have the 355. Yeah, I only need that one. I want the rest of them, but really just that one Gibson's all I need. And that's the one I've had the longest. It belonged to a friend of mine's dad. So I started playing that guitar when I was about 14, and then I bought it when I was about 20 years old. So that's a long time ago, by the way.
Hey, we're going to take just a short check here. Michael, do you have anything on your screen where the setting is, where you can pick a microphone or something? Or does it not show any of that stuff?
Yeah, it's showing a microphone right here.
Okay, so your microphone is it
muted and unmuted is all it gives me.
Oh, okay. It does. Oh, it doesn't give you that little box that says settings.
Let me look real quick.
There's a spinny wheel right there. And while you guys are doing that, I'll tell you, while Michael's looking for that setting to make sure his microphone is on, and it's not just the one from the camera. Sorry.
No, it says built-in microphone. That's all I've got right now. So.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. It's probably doing some weird thing with the background noises or something. But
there's a chainsaw going off right over my head. So let me know, guys. So we can...
But you do sound great. Lee, I already gave you my guitar face. I can just tell you some people who are good at it. But rather than that, I'd like to answer the question, how many guitars do you have and what guitar have you owned the longest? I always have one less than what I need. Always. No matter how many guitars I have one less than what I need. My big brother was who's 5 years older than me, who's a very big influence on my music. He said, if you get 5 Strats, I'm going to kick your butt. And I said, why? And he's like, because you don't need 5 Strats, you need 1 Strat. And of course, I don't have any Strats. But his point was, if you have a classical guitar, that's a gig. If you got a good box for writing songs on, that's a gig. If you've got a really, really good Gibson, you got your Gibson. You can have different ones that have different tones, but don't have 5 Les Pauls just because one's got a cool finish. And for a practical musician like me who wants to get lots of gigs, it was the best advice. It was so great, that advice, because I had a classical guitar and I could go play, madrigals at the Renaissance Fair and make a little extra buck. And then I had a mandolin when somebody called, and I would fake it till I make it. I remember one time somebody called and they said, do you play ukulele? And I went, sure. I'd never played one. And so I went down to South Austin Music, and I bought myself an ukulele, and then I got online and I said, well, what does it sound like? And they said, well, we want it to sound like this song by Train. So I listened to the song, and I learned how to play it, and then I played the part on their thing, and it paid for the ukulele.
Yeah.
So I like having lots and lots of instruments for that reason, because they're different voices. I'm not sure. I think that maybe my oldest guitar that I have, and also I only have 5 up here, if you count a mandolin, because we hightailed it up to Canada as soon as the pandemic started. Right before it started. It was like the day they did shelter in place in Austin, we took off. And we made the last ferry to Canada before they closed the ferries.
Wow.
Very last one, 2:30 afternoon on a Sunday, and it was half full, and it was creepy. And they let me in anyway, because I'm married to a Canadian. And so I was only able to bring up 1 acoustic, 1 electric guitar, 1 acoustic lap slide, 1 electric lap slide, and I had a mandolin here.
Yeah, that's all you have to have. That's all you need.
Well, that's all I have to have to survive.
Yeah, but it's nice to have lots of different guitars.
I miss my baritone. I miss my Martin. Who's got him right now is Stephen Carolyn. He's got all my guitars, and he plays them all the time, which makes me really happy, but I also get really jealous every time I hear him. Like, oh, the guitar sounds good. Anyway, Randy, I hope that answered your question. Oh, which one have I owned the longest? I have a beater Yamaha, just straight ahead acoustic. That was my big brother's. I think he must have got it when he was like 15, so I was like 10. you know, and something about that guitar that just sits in the corner that isn't worth a lot of money, but everyone who has played that guitar over the years has made it just sing.
You'll see those Yamahas in studios a lot. They're not expensive guitars, but they have kind of a funky Beatlesy kind of sound to them. You know, they work great.
Beatlesy.
Yeah.
They're very Beatlesy. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Well, I do not plan on playing any songs today, but what I would really, really love is one more chance for Michael to play a song. Am I putting you on the spot too much with songs today?
No, it's just this guy. I can't believe y'all can't hear that chainsaw. I can't believe you can't hear it. But that's okay. No, you're not putting me on the spot at all. I haven't played at all. I love playing for y'all, man.
Okay, good, man. Well, it means a lot to us, and I know everybody's digging it.
That happy hour sun creeps through the dusty blinds, off the boulevard into the dollar's blackened eyes, raking tips off the hustlers and Colfax queens, making change for the cigarette machine. Lucky was a sucker for that spray-painted smile, a Jersey pool hall junkie who couldn't keep a wife. So with the pinball ringing in the ears, Lucky slings his lines, but Dollar never hears. I've been running too long to matter, tired of waiting on the light to change. Rain's washed away every seed I've scattered, running from my wasted days. She sighs, all I need is everything this town ain't. Skimming the till for 6 months straight. A happy hour song just through the dusty pines. We'll try that again, it's been a while. She sighs, all I need is everything this town ain't. Been skimming the till for 6 months straight. Oh man, you guys, it's been too long and I forgot the last verse. The good news is Darla runs away with all the money. Let's try one more time. This is what 3 months of isolation gets you. She sighs, all I need is everything this town ain't. Been skimming the till for 6 months straight. A laughing heart escapes without regrets as the getaway moon casts upon Dollar's silhouette. Well, I've been running too long to matter, tired of waiting on the light to change. Rain's washed away every seed I've scattered, running from my wasted days. Well, I've been running too long, tired of waiting on the light to change. Rain's washed away every seed I've scattered, running from my wasted days. Running from my wasted days. Hey, I forgot the words, but we couldn't leave Darla stuck in that bar, man. We had
No, that would be bad. That would be bad. You know, it's funny, Michael. People come on here a lot, and they ask a lot about co-writing, and you being one of the people that I've spent the most. I've probably co-written more songs with you than anybody else that I've written with over the years. And you're definitely somebody I come to for that kind of thing, and And people say, well, because a lot of times I'll say to people, it doesn't always work, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, not even like per song, it's like per person. Like, there's
Yeah.
people who I really, really, really love their music, and we don't vibe.
Yeah.
It's just, it happens. And now, not most of the time, I don't know about you, but I love writing a song from just a drum beat. And I love writing a song from just like one line. And I love writing a song from like I sung something into my phone.
Yeah, or a guitar riff or something.
Who cares as long as you get it?
Yeah.
Kate Fleming asks right now, how do those projects start? I believe those projects start sometimes when you send somebody an idea. A lot of times they're sort of like out of the blue. The more I read, about other songwriters, which I've finally started doing, kind of getting their perspective on things. They'll say not to force it, but to be ready and be open for it when it's ready to come. And like I was just reading about Paul Simon the other day, and he was talking about how the whole album Graceland he had written before he wrote any of the lyrics. All the music was done,
Yeah, by other people, but don't get me started on that story.
I know, it's Los Lobos, right? And
fans.
but right, but okay, so there's one thing, but he was also talking about how if something's not working, you just put it away for a week. And come back to it. Now, your projects, I have songs of yours that I love that you've written with Adam Carroll or you've written with Carrie Sweeney. Now, do those tend to happen kind of organically, or does somebody call you and say you have an idea?
Carrie will send me a CD because he's old fashioned, and it'll have about 20 unfinished songs on it. The guy writes nonstop,
Wow.
So I'll just pick one that I like and do that. Me and Adam Carroll were like you and me. We travel together a lot. We joke around. We're talking to each other, and we write songs together. I think me and Adam have over 20 something songs we've written together.
Wow.
Now, me and you, Jeff, we just used to get together.
You definitely have written more with him then.
We and you used to get together just on a Tuesday before the Apostles of Manchaca with no plan, no idea, and just show up and within an hour or so have a song. A lot of my songs off Bloodshot Vagabond are just from us getting together with no idea, except we're going to be in the same room together on Tuesday at 5:30, and we got a lot of songs that way.
Yeah, we had something to write for,
Exactly. Yeah.
And so, Kate, that's another answer to your question. Sometimes the songwriting happens when you have something to write for. I love writing for people, with somebody in mind. I think that's, not just because it's means you're going to get some publishing, but it also means that, it's just like you can really get out of your own head if you're thinking somebody else is going to sing this.
Yeah.
And that's
Gary
super,
Floater
super fun.
mind. Gary Floater. No, my friend Brett Graham, he would write songs thinking about, even if he wasn't actually going to pitch it to the person, he would just to get a vibe and get an idea. Hey, I'm going to write this song for whoever, and not really actually pitch it to him, just to get that idea and get a motivation going,
Yeah, I've had a couple instances where I've sent, an idea to somebody and they just completely ghosted me, and it was just like, and then I found out later they
look at what's going on in people's lives, man. Somebody just might
exactly
be there, They're trying to catch up on The Office, whatever,
But as a musician, no matter what level you're at, they're like, "Oh no, they hated that idea."
Oh yeah.
They hated that idea I sent, and it's like, no, they were just busy living their life.
Yeah. Another thing to remember that I'd like to say is, it's okay to have an idea what the song's going to be about when you start. But the best that I've done is just if the song starts revealing itself, like it wants to go somewhere else and it wants to be something else, then I don't resist that. I just let it show me what it wants to become. And man, that's the good way to go. And that original idea you had, put it back in your notebook and save it. It might be another song, but this song wants to to go this direction, And
I totally agree.
rather than trying to make it fit into the circle into the square peg that you've got in your head, just go ahead and let it be a circle over here, because the song will show you. They really will. If it's good, it'll show you rapidly what it wants to do, I think, Anyway.
Yeah, I agree with the idea of that, and I also think that if you have a song idea and it's not working, put it away for a little while. If you have a song idea and it's not working, give it to a friend. If the song goes in a different direction, put it away, take that little part. And then there's the other thing where, like, you can, like, write a song and then you have this other song over here and it's waiting for a while and you're like, wait a second. That bridge is what needs to be in this.
Yeah.
And you just kind of have to have your open, antenna and be ready to, just figure out that sometimes, there ain't nothing wrong with a little cut and paste.
And oh man, I cut and paste all the time. Or you'll have the lyrics to one already written. You'll think, no, this needs to be grittier. So I'll change it to a minor key, and then that original musical idea I'll put on the back burner and use it again somewhere else,
I'll tell you what, since we're getting close on time, but I'm having a lot of fun myself. Michael, I hope you're having a good time. I know that
I'm having a great time.
In the next couple of minutes, Austin Music TV is going to be done with the hour, so I want to give a big thanks to Austin Music TV and Sheila for putting us up on here. I think it's really, really the coolest thing. But Michael and I will keep playing. So I know that around 11:58 Pacific time, that's going to happen. And so I'm just going to play a little bit of guitar for a second and sing a little bit of one of my new songs on Patreon. And then as soon as I see the 2-minute mark, we'll stay on for a couple more minutes and say goodbye to everybody. So thank you to everybody on Austin.
Thanks, y'all. Thanks, Jeff.
And Michael and I will stay on here. And if you don't mind going a little bit longer online.
Not at all.
All right, cool. Don't stop now, keep moving your feet, keep on pushing, there's no retreat. People get ready, the time is tight, I won't retreat from a righteous fight. If I'm walking, you better believe I'm singing to a solid rock. Oh, I'm still clinging. Voices in my head, Mavicent pops. I'm in the army of love. Can we take it to the top? Singing, don't stop now. Keep moving your feet. Keep on pushing. There's no retreat. Get ready, for the time is tight. I won't retreat from a righteous fight. I'm trying to find a neighborhood to live where I never forget, but try to always forgive. I could howl at the moon, oh, but what'll that do when the sun's gonna shine on everything that's true? Oh! Better believe I'm singing to a solid rock. I'm still clinging. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. And I think we're off Austin Music TV right now. If anybody has any more questions for myself and Michael O'Connor, yeah, like I said, you can go ahead and find that song over on Patreon. But I want to, now that we don't have to worry about said calls to action, because we are offline. Here, I'll wait one more minute just to make sure about that. Very, very thankful to Austin Music TV. We got probably time for, maybe one more question, and we can mention a little bit more about where you can find Michael O'Connor and where you can find me and all that kind of stuff.
Nice song, Jeff.
Oh, thanks, man. That's another one I wrote with Scrappy.
It's hard to play music with you. I can't play with you because of the delay, obviously. But it's hard to just sit there and watch you play guitar and not throw in a...
Oh, and I was doing the same thing. I was singing the harmonies. I've been running too long. Wasted Days, which I love. Hey,
thanks, man.
Okay, now it's 12 right here. Everybody who's online right now, I can say this now. Right there, Michael O'Connor, www.mocmusic, and michaeloconnor.bandcamp.com. And it means a lot to me if you check out my friend's music. Do you sell songs a lot? What was the first one? How did it happen? I don't know about Michael and selling songs. It's more just word of mouth. There are people out there that Kate will pitch songs, and that's a lot more how that happens in like the big world. And if you don't have someone doing it for you, it's really, really hard to have it happen. It's probably something that happens more organically. I know that Michael's had songs covered by Slade Cleaves, and I don't think it was probably a situation where Michael was like, "Hey, Slade, will you play my song?" Right?
No,
how did it happen that he did that? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been doing Getaway Car on Slade. When me and you played with Slade, he'd always give us a tune. So I've been doing Getaway Car, and we were hanging out in a hotel room. I think Adam Carroll was the opening act, so we were hanging out in some cheap hotel, and Slade's like, "Got any songs?" And I had just written Devil's Lullaby. And, when you first write a song and you haven't played it for anyone, you don't know if it's any good or not. There's no, hey, look at that. There's no perspective. But Slade recorded it and then put it on Unsung along with Getaway Car. So that was my first, record deal artist to do one of my songs. I'd had people record my songs, but... it turned me into a thousandaire there for a couple of months. It was all right.
Yeah. But that's to answer your question, Kate, and feel free, anybody who's on the comments, I really, really love it when people are kind of talking to each other. Somebody was talking about baritone guitars. Feel free to mix and say hello and give ideas to each other. That's another thing that's really, really cool about this. I see people talking to each other that I know from different places all of a sudden meet here. All right, well, hey, Lee, I will ask Jamie when she has time to, Jamie Harris, that's a call for you to potentially be a guest on the show soon. So we'll check on that. Michael, I can't thank you enough, buddy.
Thank you, Jeff. It's great to see y'all.
It is great to see you, too. We'll get together and we'll write. Hey, Nadette. Nadette's on there, too. Saying thank you to everybody who gave a tip. I'm splitting them with Michael today. And so we really appreciate that. If you don't have any money
Thank you, guys.
If you don't have any money, please, we understand. If you do, we're both out of jobs. So that's good stuff, too. And bye, everybody.
Love you guys.
Take care. Take care now.
Peace out.